Watch this. A sleek box, perfect edges, the smell of new, that satisfying peel of protective plastic. Your hands are actually shaking with anticipation. You've wanted this for months, worked overtime for it, dreamed about it, and now it's here. 48 hours later, it's just another object on your desk. The magic is gone. The excitement evaporated. You're already scrolling through the next model, the next upgrade, the next thing that promises to fill the void this one just created. Here's the question nobody wants to answer. Why did that toy you got as a 7-year-old bring you joy for months, but that $1,900 phone you just bought stops feeling special after 2 days? You've been told it's your fault. You're materialistic. You're never satisfied. You have a consumption problem. But what if I told you this isn't a personality flaw? What if this is exactly how the system was designed to work? This is hedonic adaptation weaponized. This is planned dissatisfaction. This is the architecture of modern economic slavery, where your feelings are the product and your wallet is the target. They're not selling you a product, they're selling you a dopamine injection. And when that injection wears off, you'll go back to work, earn more money, and buy the next one. Because that's not a bug in the system. That's the entire business model. Let me take you back to 1924. A group of lightbulb manufacturers formed a secret cartel called the Phoebus Cartel. Their innovation? They engineered light bulbs to fail faster. Before the cartel, bulbs lasted 2,500 hours. After their agreements, they were designed to burn out at 1,000 hours. This wasn't a technical limitation. This was planned obsolescence. They discovered something profound. If products last forever, you only need to buy them once. And if you only buy once, there's no growth, no expansion, no shareholder value. So they built failure into the design, forced you to keep buying forever. That was physical obsolescence. The product breaks, you replace it. Simple, brutal, effective. But modern capitalism evolved. Why wait for the product to break when you can make the consumer feel broken instead? Welcome to psychological obsolescence. Your phone still works perfectly. The battery holds a charge. The screen is intact. All the apps function. But then they release a new model. Slightly thinner, marginally faster, different color. And suddenly, your perfectly functional device feels outdated, inadequate, embarrassing. The advertising industry doesn't sell you the new thing. They sell you shame about the old thing. They don't make you desire what you don't have. They make you ashamed of what you do have. Last year's car, last season's fashion, last generation's tech. The product hasn't failed. Your sense of adequacy has, and that's far more profitable because it happens faster and more frequently than physical breakdown. This is where it gets sinister. The system needs you emotionally unstable. A confident person who feels complete is a terrible customer. They don't impulse buy. They don't upgrade unnecessarily. They don't seek external validation through consumption. But an anxious person? An insecure person? Someone who feels like they're falling behind, missing out, not measuring up? That person is a gold mine. They buy to feel better. They consume to fill voids. They spend to prove worth. Marketing departments have entire divisions dedicated to identifying and triggering your insecurities. Too old, too fat, too poor, too uncool, not successful enough, not attractive enough, not keeping up. And conveniently, they're selling exactly what you need to fix it, temporarily. Here's how the trap actually works. Follow the cycle. You want something you can't afford, not because you need it, but because you've been convinced it will make you happy, successful, attractive, complete. So you borrow credit cards, payment plans, buy now, pay later schemes. You acquire the thing with money you don't have. Brief euphoria. You got it. You made it. You're validated. Then reality hits. The thing didn't change your life. You're the same person with a new object and a new debt. Now you have to work more hours, take fewer risks, accept worse conditions, because you have payments to make. So you work harder at a job you probably don't love to pay for things that don't actually make you happier to impress people you don't even like. And the cycle repeats. This isn't accidental. This is structural. Consumer spending represents 70% of GDP in developed economies. 70%. The entire system depends on you buying things constantly. If everyone suddenly said, you know what, I have enough. I'm good with what I have, the economy would collapse within weeks. Factories would shut down, unemployment would spike, stock markets would crash, banks would fail. The whole apparatus requires perpetual dissatisfaction. It needs you to always want more, always feel inadequate, always chase the next thing. You're not a citizen, you're not even a person. You're a consumption unit, and your job is to keep consuming or the machine stops. This is why savings are punished. Look at interest rates. When inflation runs at 6% and your savings account pays 0.5%, you're losing 5.5% of your purchasing power every year by saving. The system is literally penalizing you for not spending. You're being herded, nudged, manipulated into consumption because if you don't spend, GDP contracts. And if GDP contracts, politicians lose elections. So they'll do whatever it takes to keep you buying. 0% financing. extended payment plans, debt forgiveness programs that sound generous but actually enable more borrowing, tax incentives for purchases, all designed to keep you in the cycle. Your financial slavery isn't a personal failing, it's economic policy. Let's talk about what's actually happening in your brain when you buy something. The moment you click purchase, your brain releases dopamine. That's the neurotransmitter of anticipation and reward. It feels good, really good. That's the rush, that's the high. That's why your hands shake when you open the box. But here's the problem. Dopamine is about the chase, not the catch. It spikes during anticipation and crashes after acquisition. That's why the feeling fades so fast. That's why the new thing stops being exciting within days. Your brain already got its hit during the purchase. The actual ownership is biochemically boring. Real happiness, sustained contentment, that comes from serotonin. That's the neurotransmitter of peace, fulfillment, meaningful connection. But serotonin doesn't come from buying things. It comes from relationships, purpose, mastery, contribution, things you can't swipe a credit card for. The system knows this, and that's exactly why they sell you dopamine instead. Because dopamine is addictive. Dopamine makes you come back. Dopamine keeps you chasing. Serotonin is free. Serotonin doesn't require purchases. Serotonin would kill their business model. So they've engineered an entire economy around dopamine hits. Fast fashion, tech upgrades, impulse buying, one-click purchases, same-day delivery, all designed to give you that spike as quickly and frequently as possible. And now they've added algorithms, the attention economy. These systems know you better than you know yourself. They track what you click, what you pause on, what makes your pupils dilate. They know exactly when you're vulnerable, exactly when you're bored, exactly when you're feeling inadequate. And that's when they show you the ad. That's when the recommended for you appears. That's when the limited time offer pops up. You think you're making a free choice, but you're being triggered at your weakest moment by systems designed to exploit your psychology. This isn't shopping. This is behavioral manipulation at industrial scale. You're not exercising free will. You're being nudged, herded, and harvested. The average person makes 35,000 decisions per day. The consumer economy has monetized your decision fatigue. When you're tired, stressed, and overwhelmed, you default to the path of least resistance. And they've made sure that path leads directly to your credit card. So what's the escape? How do you break free from a system this sophisticated, this pervasive, this psychologically engineered? Let me introduce you to Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor, the most powerful man in the ancient world. Unlimited wealth, unlimited access. He could have anything, do anything, own anything. And he chose to live simply, not because he had to, but because he understood something profound. True freedom isn't having everything you want. True freedom is wanting nothing. He wrote in his meditations, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself and your way of thinking." This from a man who literally owned the known world. The Stoics understood what modern capitalism desperately tries to hide. Desire is the trap. Not the lack of things, but the endless wanting of things. As long as you believe happiness is one purchase away, you'll never be happy. You'll just be one purchase away. Forever. Here's the radical realization. Financial freedom doesn't start with earning more money. It starts with needing less. Every desire you eliminate is a chain you break. Every enough you embrace is a prison door you open. The system measures success by how much you consume. Real success is measured by how little you need to consume to be content. The wealthiest person isn't the one with the most. It's the one who needs the least. This is why minimalism terrifies corporations, not because it's a trend, but because it's an existential threat. If people start finding happiness in what they already have, in relationships and experiences and purpose, the entire consumption economy collapses. Your power is in your no. Your freedom is in your enough. The luxury isn't owning more. The luxury is needing nothing. And here's what they really don't want you to know. You already have enough, right now. The phone in your pocket works. The clothes in your closet fit. The car in your driveway drives. You have enough. You've had enough. You'll continue to have enough. The only thing missing is your recognition of that fact. And they've spent trillions in advertising to make sure you never recognize it. So the next time your finger hovers over that buy button, that add to cart, that one-click purchase, ask yourself this. Am I buying this because I genuinely need it or want it? Or am I buying this because a multi-billion-dollar psychological manipulation industry has identified my insecurity and is exploiting it to hit their quarterly earnings target? Am I spending my money, or is my anxiety being monetized? Am I making a choice, or am I being triggered by an algorithm that knows I'm vulnerable right now? And most importantly, will this thing still matter to me in a week, in a month, in a year? Or will it be sitting in a drawer forgotten while I'm chasing the next dopamine hit? The consumption trap isn't about the things you buy. It's about the life you're not living while you're working to pay for things that don't matter. It's about the freedom you're selling for temporary satisfaction. It's about the years you're trading for objects that depreciate the moment you own them. You can't buy happiness. But you've been sold the idea that you can. And that sale is the most profitable transaction in human history because it never ends. The product never delivers. So you keep buying forever, unless you stop, unless you see the trap, unless you choose enough. This is finance through time. We follow the money so you can keep yours. Now I want to hear from you. What's the most expensive thing you bought that you stopped caring about within a month? Drop it in the comments. Let's see how much junk we've all accumulated, chasing a feeling that was never in the box.